2 today. And this is multi-step inequalities. Now, what I have noticed about some of you, not all of you, some of you are wonderful. Some of you are lazy and or defiant when it comes to solving equations. You do not want to write your work out. You want to do large parts of it in your head. You seem, no matter how many times you're told, to not believe that you should write your work out. If it is ever going to cause you trouble, it's going to cause you trouble on multi-step inequalities. Some of you are really bad. Don't write this down. Like if I have I don't even know what kind of answer I'm going to get here. Some of you are really bad to do your work like this. You'll do something like 4x plus 8. Right, your work looks something like this. Now, as far as the number goes, 1/6 is the right number to get here. But with inequalities, you can see it's like a bunch of mess. I've got this inequality sign. I don't know where my x went. You might can get by with doing this on equations. But the problem is you're going to have this work and your answer choices may look like this. X is greater than or equal to 1/6. Was it or equal to? Yeah. X is less than or equal to 1/6. And then maybe like a x is less than or equal to 6. X is greater than or equal to 6. So you could narrow it down to A and B. But if your work looks like this, can you tell whether it's A or B? No. So let me stress to you, it is really important for you to make your work neat on this. Some of you, I don't have to tell you that. Kama, Kaylee, Anna, Grace, yours is beautiful. It is the work of a, it's the work of, what's that called whenever you do all that fancy writing? Calligrapher almost. It's beautiful. Some of the rest of you, I cannot say the same for. So, it doesn't have to be, and there's some of you, I didn't name everybody that has good handwriting. Some of you, lots of you have good handwriting. But some of you, it's a wreck. It's a wreck.
A wreck that we have bad handwriting, or we don't write out the equation?
Both. Both. Now, and let me tell you, I got to give you guys a speech that I give all my students. Now, not everybody is going to have the most beautiful, lovely handwriting. You know, my handwriting, especially up here, it's not perfect. It's definitely not like something they're going to take and make a font out of somewhere, like some of yours may be. But it's, for the most part, usually pretty legible. You can read it. If your X and your 7 look the same, or your 2 and your 5 are indistinguishable from each other, it's going to mess up your math a lot of times. I'm not saying it's got to be beautiful, but it needs to be legible so that you can read it. My cousin, he's grown now. but still to this day has this problem. He has this problem with his. It's really his nerves is the issue. It's like he was born with it. So like the nerves from his elbows down and his knees down do not work correctly. His hands look like this. He cannot straighten his fingers out. So like everything he does, he has to do, with hands that are like this. So he has to pick up his pencil like this and rest one hand on the other and write like this, holding his pencil like this. He writes a lot better than some of y'all do. Now, he's a little slow. He's not the fastest writer in the world. But I used to help him with his math when he was in school some. And his handwriting is much better than a lot of my students. And he can't even straighten his hands out or hold a pencil properly. All of you, I believe, have been blessed with perfectly functioning hands that can write. So, take your time, do your work neatly. Please. Because it will mess you up, especially on inequalities. Because if you have messy work, it's going to be a mess. All right, so let's do an example. Okay. All right, so copy this one down for me. 5x minus 8 greater than or equal to 7x plus 12. I'm going to come around at the end of notes today, and we're going to see what your notes look like. We'll see if they're, yeah. I may publicly shame you if your
I don't have
notes
good handwriting. This
are...
is a genetic thing. None of my family has good handwriting.
Well, I'm not saying it's got to be beautiful, but it can be legible. You may not, your hands may not be as steady as someone else's, but it might not be beautiful, but it needs to be legible because it will mess you up. This is pretty good, especially for a boy. Yes, that's fine. Yeah. Boys are the worst. I mean, handwriting. Yeah, I was actually thinking today whenever I looked at one of his papers that his handwriting is good for a boy. Her brother, Bo, he's in my pre-cal class. Yeah. So, I mean, some girls have terrible handwriting and some boys have good handwriting. But in my many years as an educator, boys do not write as pretty as girls. If we want to make assumptions about groups as a whole, which is sometimes very dangerous to do, but yeah. But we're only talking about handwriting here, so. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So, we're going to solve this problem. We're going to share our work. We're going to do it neatly. We're going to recopy after every step. That's what a lot of y'all don't do. You're doing, you do a step, but you don't copy the rest of the problem, and then that causes you issues. So, let's see, Blakeland, how do you want to solve this? What do you want to do first on this equation? Okay, and which one do you want to move, the 5x or the 7x? Okay, so if we are getting rid of that 5x, we're going to subtract it over here. We're going to cross it out. We're going to subtract the 5x over here. And so on that left-hand side, we'll just have negative 8 left. We'll get 2x plus 12. And see, that is a step a lot of y'all don't do. You don't copy everything down. right there. You might just have like 2x plus 12, and then you start doing things with this 8 up here, and then things skip from side to side, and it's just a terrible mess. So neatly, we're going to write this. All right, Camel, what would we do next? Very good. We'll subtract that 12. And so bringing everything down, and especially careful to bring down the sign, because the sign matters on these, right? And then Lexi, what would we do after that? Very good. So we get -10. Do I have to flip the sign on that one? No. Okay, because we are dividing by a positive number. The top number is negative. If we want to write it the other way at the end, you are right, you're just like a step ahead of me. We generally like to have that x on the left-hand side, so x is less than or equal to -10.
X is like the X on the left side is like the way of life for most people.
Yeah. It is technically correct to leave your answer right here. It looks better to put your answer right here. You don't have to switch it. If you do not switch it, be really careful, because when you go to graph it, if I have it written with my X on that left-hand side, then I just do my closed circle, and then see how this sort of like points to the left? I just shade to the left. If you don't switch it here, that sign looks like it goes to the right, but it does not. You still shade the same way. This graph is the answer here. So I like to put the X on the left-hand side. All right, check your neighbors, see what theirs looks like. See if you can read it. Scold them if their handwriting is poor. That's good, yes. All right. All right, let's do another one. Okay. All right, copy this problem down for me. Example 2. 4 times x minus 3 minus 2x is less than or equal to 3x plus 7. All right. Haley, what do we need to do first on this one? Very good. What will I get? Very good. And then we're bringing everything else down. So minus 2x less than or equal to 3x plus 7. Lanaya, what should we do after that? Very good. What's the, okay, I like that. Or if you did 2x minus 12, that's fine too. The order you put those two in doesn't matter. So we're putting that x and the negative 2x together. They're on the same side, so we just combine them. All right, Ian, what do you think?
Well, I did minus 3x if I over 2x, I would get negative. Just so I can give you the left side.
Okay, so Ian is doing something that maybe drives some of you crazy. You don't have to do it this way. But he is subtracting the 3x because he is saying he doesn't want to have to deal with that x being on the right-hand side. Some of you are like, oh, there's a negative there. That's gross. I don't want to do it that way. You don't have to, but we're going to do it Ian's way this time. I think there is some validity to his argument, especially with inequalities. It's easier to have the x on that left-hand side, but you can do it either way. All right, Aiden, what would you do next? Wonderful. Make sure you don't lose that negative with your x. And Kaylee, what would we do last here? Divide by that negative 1. And so x is less than or equal to negative 19. It would. Good. I really was testing you that time. Sometimes I just forget to do things, but I really was testing you that time. Lanaya passed. Okay. The good thing about doing it the way that Ian did this problem is you don't have to switch the sides of the equal sign at the end. So you're just going to go straight to graphing. So negative 20, negative 19, negative 18, close circle, shade to the right. Okay, questions here?
Oh, I thought it would be x is negative and equal to 2. Because like the way I did it, it was negative 19 was less. I did.
You should have positive x though. If you subtracted the 2x, you should get like negative 19 is greater than or equal to positive x. Yeah, you won't have that negative to divide by on the end if you did it the other way. Okay? All right, let's do a couple more, and then we'll get you guys on your assignment so that maybe we won't have any homework tonight. If you work hard. All right, so they're math dominoes. Let's do that 3. Yeah. I'll let you guys go ahead and work this one on your own. Alright, what are you guys getting? X greater than 0? Okay. Let's see. I'm going to work this one out. Check and see if you did it the same way. Okay, I agree. X is greater than 0. Some students have trouble with the answer including 0. This is an answer. Some students want to say no solution like as soon as they get a 0. No solution's only for whenever the variables cancel out completely.
I got X is less.
When did you flip your sign?
Whenever I divided 1x.
Alright, is 1 a negative?
I mean negative 1.
How did you have a negative 1?
So I'm gonna go all the way to the top whenever it was 4x minus 10 is greater than 3x minus 9 minus 1.
Uh-huh.
And then I combined negative 9 and negative 1 and I did, and then I got 4x minus 10 is greater than 3x minus 10.
Mm-hmm.
Then I added the 10, I added 10 on both, like, on
Okay. I see
so
what.
I got 4x is greater than 3x, and then plus 0.
Alright, so this is the reason I do not like for you to move the numbers first. So I like for you to move the variables first. It keeps you from getting into this like situation where you don't know what to do. You can do it. So if you add that 10, it ends up just canceling on both sides. So 4x is greater than 3x. What did you say you did from there?
Well, I did minus 4, and I got negative 1x is greater than 0.
Alright, so you got negative 1x is greater than 0. Alright, here's the problem. 4x minus 4x, what does that give you? 0. You have to work straight down. So 4x minus 4x is 0. 3x minus 4x is negative 1x. Like that. So you cannot switch those sides of the inequality unless you also switch the... And then you would divide by negative 1. So 0 would be less than x. But if we write it with the x first, x is greater than 0, which matches what I have over here. Okay, questions? All right, let's do one more, and then we'll let you guys. Let's just do something crazy here. Oh, sorry, inequality. Greater than or equal to. All right. All right. Mhm.
So I know we multiply by 2 on the 10x minus 4 side, but so I know you can do it to 5x, but would you do it to 2 to make that a 4? Okay.
All right. So 2 is giving you a problem here. You can multiply both sides by 2. When you do that, you're multiplying that whole left side by 2. Normally when we do that, it's only got a number there, right? But this time, it's got 5x plus 2. So it's going to cancel the 2 over here. We would have to distribute that 2. So we would get 10x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 10x minus 4. All right, Aiden, what do you think we should do?
10x minus 10x.
So, okay. Is that statement true? Is 4 greater than or equal to negative 4? It's true, right? So since this is true, it would be infinitely many solutions. If you get a false statement, if this said negative 4 is greater than or equal to 4, then that would be no solution. If you were to see one like this on Delta Math and it asked you to graph it, this is how you would graph it. You just shade the whole entire number line. Bye. Love you. Go to class. You're going to be late. You're going to get in trouble.
What are whales?
Offspring goldfish, they're better.
Oh, those whales. Yeah, goldfish are better.
Yeah.
I don't like whales.
I love whales. I think they're a little
I
better.
don't care. Goldfish are better than whales. Goldfish are so better.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I have enough snacks to be passing those out for everything. We'll see. That's Henry's snack cabinet there. All right. Questions?